Hi guys! Today I'm gonna do a little kind of effects and stuff to use on CapCut. So I'll show you my go-to animation combos, my effects, kind of like that. First, I'm gonna create a project. 1 second. We're just gonna use Natsuki here because this picture's very demure and cute. Yippee. So we are going, my go-to effects are definitely jumpy film. You will need this a lot, and edits in general, aesthetic kind of edits, like my Doki Doki Literature Club one, I do of the Doki Doki, Doki's aesthetics, and then I suggest edge glow for certain edits, similar to basically also kind of basically aesthetic and sometimes journal edits. And then I definitely assume Doodle Diary for aesthetic ones, but I definitely tone it down to I definitely tone it down to not so as, and sometimes I normally don't have the filter because I have I have other stuff for the filter stuff. And then I definitely, if you don't want to have a good day, you just can adjust it. And then basically I also use, if you're looking for not an aesthetic edit, kind of but I'll show you examples for effect, the effects I just showed you. I will show you some edits of edits that have those effects with it. So kind of like an example. Then I definitely do suggest I can't say it. I suggest that pretty good for certain edits as well, depending on the edit. And then I also suggest Ripple. Ripple is also a really good effect to use for pretty much any type of edit, normally, depending on how it is with it. And for edits kind of like this, or I'm going to show you an edit that you would use these kind of effects, Crumble Strobe. Yes, this is only if you have Pro, but you can find other stuff you won't have this either, but you can find stuff vertical glow. You might want to turn down the glow a bit because it's kind of a lot, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm just kind of nitpicky on it, but those are kind of my go-to effects that I'd use for that stuff. If we're talking about filters, I always suggest Crystal Clear, or I do Crystal Clear. If you don't have Pro, I suggest mostly Luminate Cyan, depending on the edit. And then yeah, I suggest those two the most for those kind of effects. And then for fonts and texts, I suggest, I'm not good at text, but I do have some fonts that I suggest using. Crayon is a really good one. I like Crayon. Ugly Dave is a really good one. Kirby, for if you don't have Pro, is cute too. And then, yeah, like these kind of ones, I suggest those kind of free the most, because those are probably one of the best ones I like. And then sometimes for certain edits, I will grab a text and then I will put glow to it, and then I'll put that, and then I'll put like that on, like kind of like different edits. I wouldn't suggest it for aesthetic edits or like kind of like mood board kind of edits, but like actual kind of edits. Velocity, I guess. Velocity, I do suggest that, I think, in my kind of experience of editing. And then definitely on, what else? I do have some tips and tricks. Say you have an audio. I'm going to use Misery for an example. You don't have to write the lyrics. Now, this might be kind of for pro, but you can use it free for once a month, I think. So you can do this for lyrics. You can auto lyrics, and you can do voiceover is for the song, and audio. Video is for like what people are saying in the video or in the clip, but it's a picture, so yeah, and then you just generate that. That's definitely, I suggest doing that. And then now I'm just going to give you some overlays I suggest doing. Now, what you want to do for animations, we're just going to split for this, because yeah, so best patterns are definitely sway in and sway out combo. I suggest that one. I love that one. And then this is also a good one, is wave bouncy rush, and then basically put on one and pin it at 2, which could also be sway 1 or sway 2, which I think I must have tried and I preferred. I don't know. This is also from yeah, I also found this in a tutorial of animations. I think Be Free Edits. He can't remember the name right now. It's like 11 o'clock, and I'm low-key tired, so I'm gonna go bed soon. Probably right after this. So basically, you want pedal on or pedal into, and then spin, zoom spin, and then spin out like that. So see, that's the result of that one. This one does require Pro, so if you don't have Pro, then Yeah. So I also suggest the pendulum wand and these two combos. They're not pro and they're really good. Also with fall bottom right and fall right is also a very good combo to use. Or fall left and fall bottom left, because for some reason fall right is pro but fall bottom right isn't. Whatever. Stupid. Or zoom 1 is also a good one with zoom 2. If I can find it. I don't know where it went. But zoom 1 and zoom 2 are also a really good combo. So, and then fade out is sometimes a good combo depending on what you're editing. Those are my top animation shenanigans. Yeah. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial. If you want, I can do a tutorial on how to do like my aesthetic kind of ones, which I am kind of interested in showing you guys. So I hope this helped for beginners, especially on CapCut. This is a mobile tutorial. It might be different on a computer. Definitely looks more complicated on a computer because I have looked that up. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed these tips. Blah, 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 blah. Star out.